So today we're going to be making this keychain here using Larks head knots, 5 of them. Each cord is approximately 60 inches in length, and I'm using 3mm macrame cord. So after you finish this knot, you're just going to repeat it a few more times until you have 5 Larks head knots on your keychain. There's 2, 3, 4, and 5. Once you have all 5 on, you're just going to go ahead and secure your work to your work surface. You can use tape, or here I'm using pins on a foam board. We're going to go ahead and separate our cords in half, 5 on the left, 5 on the right. Taking that center cord here on the left, taking it over our work on the left, we're going to grab the next one. We're going to make a little bit of a loop, taking it over that cord, go behind and grab it, pull it through, and give it a little tug. We're going to repeat that one more time. Make a loop, grab it from behind, pull it through, give it a little tug. That makes our first knot to a diagonal double half hitch knot. So I'm just going to go ahead and secure my work here a little bit. So to continue, you're going to take that next cord and do the same thing you just did on the first one, going over your main cord, around, through, and giving it a pull. Again, over, grab it, pull it through, and give it a little tug. There's your second knot. Grab your next one and repeat those steps again. Once you finish up this last cord here, that is one row. We're going to start our second row. So take your cord here in the center. That's going to become your main cord. Take your next cord and do another loop and pull through. This is going to start our second row of diagonal double half hitch knots here on the left. So we're just going to repeat this process. Now that you finished this side on the left, you're going to repeat everything you just did here over on the right hand side. So as you can see here, I have completed the first row, and now we're going to get into the second row. Let's take our two center cords, and we are now going to add our bead. So for some people it's easy to get the cords through, for other people it's a little harder. For me, I find the quickest, easiest way to get the bead on to two cords is to use a piece of tape. Once you get your tape wrapped all the way around your cord, you're just going to go ahead and grab your scissors and cut it on a little bit of a diagonal, giving it a little bit of a point. Then just go ahead and grab your bead, and as you twist your bead, you can twist the cord and the bead at the same time, and it'll kind of just push it on. Then get your bead up in place, and we're ready to move on to the next step. So once you grab the left cord, that's your main cord, you're going to grab the next cord and do the same thing we were doing at the top, but we're going to do it at the bottom of this bead. And it's going to kind of bring our diagonal double half hitch knot into more of a diagonal pattern. I guess you'll see what I mean here in a minute. So grab your next cord and check to make sure you're grabbing them in line. So which one's the next one in line? That's the next one. So you're going to go over, around, and through that main cord. Give it a little tug. Over, around, through. Give it a little tug. And get your next string. Same thing over again. We're just making diagonal double half hitch knots from the left towards the center. We are going to add that center string here that's on the left, holding the bead in. Go ahead and add that in with the double half hitch knot as well. And that should be your left side. So you're just going to repeat that. And here I do it a little bit in a fast forward motion so you don't have to watch the same thing really slowly. But if you need to slow it down, YouTube allows you the ability to slow the speed down to help you see what's going on. But here we're just finishing up the right hand side, doing a diagonal double half hitch knot on the right. And then we're going to join them together here momentarily. Join those two centers together to give it a point. Still using the same knot. So the right cord is your main cord and the left cord is your filler cord. Now that you have that, we're going to move on to the next spot. Okay, so grabbing your left cord and taking it over your work, you're going to grab the next one in line and you're going to add it in using a diagonal double half hitch knot. Give it a little bit of a tug. Put it in place. And then take it over, around, and through and give it a pull. It's the same knot we've been doing. We're just making a second row here on the left. then we're going to repeat that same process on the right. So we're going to make another diagonal double half hitch knot, or line of double half hitch knots, after I secure it in place. And there it is. So our next step is going to be taking and continuing our diagonal double half hitch knot from the left to the right. Okay, so here we are finishing up with our last part of the knot, giving it a little tug. And then we're going to repeat that on the left, making a V shape. From this V shape, we're going to leave our outer cords alone, take the next two cords on the inside, and make a square knot over the 4 center cords. So to do that, we're just going to do the square knot here. I can go into how to make a square knot in another video, or you could watch it from many other people on how to make a square knot. But here, if you just slow my process down, you'll be able to see how it's being done. We're just doing it with 2 cords instead of 1. Going around and through. And that is how you make a square knot. I'm just taking my time to keep it nice and lined up. So from here, we're just going to take this left cord, make that our main cord again. Use the next cord as our filler cord. And we're going to continue making diagonal double half hitch knots until we get to the center. And then from here, we're just going to repeat that on the right-hand side until we meet it up into the center again. Just like we did when we went around the bead, we're going around the square knot. So I'm just speeding it up here just to get through the process a little bit. But now we're going to take our left strand over our right strand, making that our main cord, making our left strand our filler cord, and using a diagonal double half hitch knot to put it into place. Okay, so with that, we are now ready to do our last knot to help us finish off our keychain here. So to do that, I'm just going to gather all of the cords here at the bottom. It's called a gathering knot. So we're gathering all these cords. Take another cord, could be about 8 to 12 inches long. It doesn't have to be terribly long. We're making a little loop, and we're going to wrap around everything as well as wrapping it over the loop that we just made. So if that doesn't make sense to you, you can look up gathering knot for macrame and you'll see what I'm talking about. But here you just wrap it around until you feel like you have enough wraps, and then you're going to take that little loop that you made, take your string behind and pull it through. Now taking that top cord, you can tug it a little bit and see how it's pulling it through, it's gathering it through. Once it's tucked in behind the loops that you made, you can go ahead and take some scissors and give it a little snip. From here, your keychain's finished. It's just a matter of cutting your tail to whatever desired length you'd like. So you just get your scissors and decide what length you want and give it a nice little cut across, trying to keep it as even as possible. And there you have it. One keychain completed with macrame, adding a bead. Kind of moves in and out, which is kind of neat. And then when you flip it over to the back here, you'll see it has quite an interesting pattern. So no matter what side of the key ring you're looking at, it looks nice. So there's the back, and here's the front. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, could you please give it a like, give me a comment, maybe share, or even subscribe if you're not subscribed to my channel.